Good morning. Happy Saturday. This is Carrie from wildflowerartbycarrie.com. And it is a hot July morning. And I wanted to give an update and do a garden tour because it's been about a month. Actually, I don't know if I did one in June. Can't remember now. But it has been a struggle so far this summer. I'll be honest. In my garden, it has been hot, dry, and windy here in New Mexico, and I'm located in Rio Rancho, New Mexico. My backyard faces the Sandia mountain range, and I'm panning down south and past those houses. If I lift up, I don't know if you can see, but the city of Albuquerque is way down there. So I am just counting my blessings, considering what everyone else is going through in the country with weather. I watch the Weather Channel app. I don't really get on the news, and have seen that a lot of people are going through tornadoes and fires and floods. So I'm happy just to have my house still standing, considering what everyone else is going through. But my garden has definitely is struggling this year. So with that, I'll kind of point out what's going on and the problems I'm having. So first off, this area here along this wall is usually full of hollyhocks. And I've had a rat infestation that I've been tending to. I've caught close to 50 rats. And they basically have eaten all my hollyhocks down to the nub. And you can see that there's just like little stems sticking up that used to be what were the hollyhocks and where they were living. So I do have a few over here, little ones that kind of came up that didn't get eaten. And so these are doing okay. These are, I would say these are maybe first, second season hollyhocks there because they're small. I have one here. Also, I usually have cosmos that reseed themselves in this garden bed. And those have been plucked out by the quail. The wild quail have come in this year and have been destructive and have picked out all my little seedlings that I usually have here. So no cosmos so far. That's another thing. Also, my gladiolas. I do have some here, but you can see over here, there's some back there. They've been munched on. These I've been having to put cloches on because the rats were getting those as well. So that's been discouraging. And then, we'll stop for take a minute and look at the little bees. The bees, the pollinators, they just love this Russian sage. And this is one plant that can handle the hot weather we've been having, hot, dry weather. It just flourishes, and then just the bees are all over it. So you want to bring in pollinators, plant some Russian sage. My roses are hanging in there. And they look like they got a little chlorosis because they're kind of light green in areas. And as you can see, these little cutouts on the leaves, those are from bees. The leaf cutter bee, that's her making her nest. So those I don't mind. At first, when I first saw those a few years back, I didn't know what those were. And the leaf cutter bee, she makes her nest and she cuts out little circles, like you can see right there. So, but another disappointment I have is my beautiful firethorn heart topiary has been scorched. It is, let me come around this way. We've had, June was really hot and dry. We've had a lot of just drought, extreme heat, 100-degree temps for some weeks, and lots of wind. Usually the winds calm down during summertime, but this summer, the wind has just been horrible. And my beautiful topiary, this heart topiary that I created, I think in 2020, I bought this firethorn, and she is just about dead. So I'm totally bummed about that. There are some little greens in there, but I don't think she's gonna make it. So I'm probably gonna have to say goodbye and pull her. I'll give her until fall and see if maybe, you know, she comes back. If not, I'm gonna have to put something else in this pot. And it could be too that she's root bound. I mean, she's been in this pot for 5 years or so, but the heat definitely, she was all green, looking good, and then we had the 100-degree temps in June, and she just scorched right up. So that's a bummer for me, because I think it's a little focal point in my garden that I love to look at, and we'll probably have to say goodbye to her. So that's another disappointment so far. This area here usually is full of cowpen daisies. I just posted a video earlier this week of my garden last year at this time. And because of the rat infestation, I'm not growing them this year. My hibiscus there is scorched as well. You can see the leaves. And the blooms, usually the blooms come out and they last a good week or more, and the blooms are barely lasting a day or two because of the hot winds and dust storms we're having and the extreme heat. So like I said, it's been disappointing this year because of the weather and the rodents and the quail. I do have some pretty things though. You know, my bougainvillea is looking beautiful, and my grass, my purple fountain grass, and all these amaryllis. These are the ones that I propagated back, I think last December, and they're all doing well and they're getting their sun, so they'll be full of blooms for me in the winter time. My cute little strawberry planter that I had full of vincas, they've all pretty much died. I got one hanging on because of the extreme heat and dryness. So that's going on. I did find a little lavender up front. So I'm like, you know what? I will stick you in there and we'll see. My front yard, I grow lavender. We'll see if he takes off. And then this rose here, I've had this rose in the pot for about the time as I've had my heart topiary. And I transplanted it this spring because it was showing signs of stress, and it's barely hanging on because of the heat and stuff too. So I might be pulling that as well. So I'm having to say goodbye to a lot of plants this year, and it's just such a bummer, you know. But like I said, it's a crazy summer for everybody all around the country, whether people are getting flooding, fires, tornadoes. Again, my house is still standing. I got to count my blessings that I'm not in those areas. And that, oh well, you know, some of my garden things just aren't coming along this year. So I planted vincas here, and some of these vincas just are not handling it well this year. In fact, today we're going to be close to 100 degrees. So once they're established, they do pretty well. But the young vincas, sometimes they just don't make it. So, and I do have vincas. I threw some seeds down in there in this pot, so they're looking good. They're coming up, but they have some shade and stuff from this juniper. But what else? Oh, my hollies are struggling. This might be the last year for them. You can see they're all burnt and crisp, and this is giving these plants water daily. You know, it's just they can, you know, I mean, when it's 100 degrees and it's so dry and arid that, you know, they just is stressed and they can't handle it. So next week I think we're going to get down to the low 90s, so thank goodness for that. This holly here is about done. She's got a little bit of growth down there at the bottom, but she's like not doing well either. So, and then, and then this, I think this is a dogwood I bought. And I talked about this in my, a neon burst dogwood. This plant is just like hating New Mexico weather, period, the end. I mean, it's just, it can't handle the wind, the arid temperatures. I got it for the color. It's supposed to be like oranges and purples in the fall, and then it's supposed to be like the red twigs in the winter. So it's just like not liking it. I mean, it is putting out, you know, some new growth here and there, but hopefully once it cools off a little bit, things will bounce back. What else is going on? So basically, yeah, it's been a rough gardening season for me this year. And you know, it's hard to see your plants struggling and not doing well and losing plants because of weather and rodents and birds and things, you know, things that are going after them, which, you know, makes me want to switch my plan and grow more things like the Russian sage, because they do bring in the pollinators. They can handle the heat. They can handle not being watered. I mean, Russian sage, you pretty much stick it in the ground and ignore it, and that's when it's happy. If you tend to it and water it and fertilize and all that stuff, it kills it. So it really loves our climate out here. But I do have some seeds starting, some zinnia seeds in pots, and I have to have them closed because, like I said, the quail and the rats are getting in. In fact, I had some in this little planter here earlier this week, and they've all been picked out, even with the chicken wire on top. So I think the quail might have just put their little face in there, or it could be a rat or a mouse that got in there and ate them, but they're gone. My coneflowers, same thing. I've had to keep them closed because the quail were picking at them. And I have some little zinnia babies down there under some chicken wire to try to get them going. Because, you know, I want color. I mean, you all see what I put out for my content, and that's been previous summers where, like I said, the quail have never been an issue.